I was in since prison, oh so dark and cold, just a lost sheep wandering from God's eternal fold. Oh, hello everyone. We're making breakfast. Country breakfast. Not the way that you'll see some of these on YouTube, city people that's never been in the country in their lives just trying to make what they call a good old-fashioned country breakfast, but the way country people make breakfast. We're going to make it as cheap as we possibly can. We're going to use 3 ingredients. That's all. We're going to use flour, lard, and buttermilk. Nothing else. And it's going to be so good. I tell you what I do. We'll back up and I'll take you on a journey and I'll show you just exactly how we're going to make the most delicious, easiest country biscuits that you've ever ate. Buttermilk, self-rising flour, and some lard. And that's all we're going to use. Some Crisco lard, and it's going to be great. And we're going to make hamburger gravy. Not steak gravy. Country people couldn't afford steak. They used hamburger. They done everything as cheap as possible. And I got a surprise breakfast meat that we're going to use that you're going to absolutely love. So would you stay with us? We'll be right back. We're going to preheat our oven to 450. So what we had to do, we find us a good medium-sized bowl of this stuff right here. Now look at this. Crisco butter flavored. So we're using some lard, but we got some butter flavoring already in it. I really like using this right here. And what we want to do, we just want to get just a little on a spoon. I like the big wooden spoons. We're going to add some. We're going to take this bowl. And we're just going to coat the outside of the bowl. All coated in good. That's going to give us an even mixture with the flour. See how it's doing. Just get that coated in evenly as possible. That should be enough right there. Okay, we're going to take some flour. Now we're going to make a cheap country meal, so we're not out trying to buy the most expensive flour that we can get. We just, it's flour. It's self-rising flour. It's got everything in it that all the other flours have in it. This is all we need. And you know, the main additive we're going to add is love, right? You know, this is the way that our ancestors, our mothers, our fathers, grandpas, grandmas, this is the way they cooked. They didn't go out and try to find the most expensive thing they can get. They just got the cheap stuff. So we're going to take some flour, self-rising. I'm just going to put it inside the bowl here. Just add some. Now I got to make sure I keep enough back. I can't put it all in there. Got to make sure I keep enough back to use later. Put that in there. Now once I got that flour in there, you see this? I just want to mix this, stir this around. Try not to get it all over me. Just want to try to mix this in and slowly incorporate this lard evenly into the flour before we put the buttermilk in. Slowly get that in. You see how white that flour is? It means it don't have any butter in it yet, any lard in it yet. So we're going to add all that in a little at a time. Scrape the sides down. Get that all added in, stir it around. Making a mess, but hey, when you cook right, you make a mess. You just got to try to clean up as you go. And now we made just a little pocket in the middle there. Make sure we get all the sides scraped down real good. Make this little pocket in the middle. We're going to take a good old cheap. I'm not spending no ton of money on nothing. The cheapest buttermilk we can find. This is whole buttermilk. This is not the watered down. It's good whole cultured buttermilk. Shake it up really good. Get the butter, get the good stuff out of the bottom. Shake it really good. We're going to pour that right into the pocket that we made in the middle right there. Once we get that done, and what you want to do, you just want to stir it around. A little bit at a time. Slowly all that gets in. Right there. Okay, now we want these at a perfect consistency. Don't want it too wet. We want it almost like pizza dough. But maybe not quite as dry as pizza dough, but really close. We want it to where it's not really going to be sticking to your hands when you pat it out. Okay, it's getting really close there. Nothing is measured. Now, when my mama made biscuits, she would sift the flour and pour. She'd have a big bowl, a huge bowl. She would pour the milk in the middle, the buttermilk in the middle, and she would take her hands and mix the buttermilk to the perfect consistency that she wanted it. She would then just lift that dough out, that batter out, and pat it out one at a time for hands and make biscuits out of it. And let me tell you, you talking about good, they would make you just smack your gums to death trying to eat them. Is better than candy. They were just absolutely perfect. Now this is starting to come out really good here. Don't want to make sure you don't want it too wet. You don't want it too dry. You want to try to make it just as close to perfect as you possibly can. Get all that in there. Now, what do you do if it's too wet? Now, this seems like it might be just a little wet, but that's okay. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to take us a board here. I'm going to take some flour. I'm just going to put this flour down on this board to keep it from sticking. Now, the moisture in the dough batter is going to soak up the flour to make it to where it's not all dry and stuff when you put it in the bread pan. So that's pretty wet. So what I want to do, I'm going to put just a little more on top of this. Sprinkle that on there. And we'll dip this out. I can tell you right now, I've made enough biscuits to know these are going to be so good. Because they're turning out really good so far. Take a good old powdery hand. Put that on there. I'm going to scrape this off. I'm going to get this mixed around good now. A little at a time. You can't make bread without beating up some dough. It just don't work out that way. This is my life. This is my God. That's the way He had to do to make me be able to rise. He had to take me like dough, mix all the ingredients together like flour. First He sifted me. He got all the good out of me, mixed me together. And sometimes I might feel like I get beat up. Sometimes I might feel like my life is tough. But God's just getting me ready to face another day. It's all beat up good. Okay, we got that all. Now look at this. That's about right there. So what we want to do, we're going to take a bread pan. I'm going to put some oil in this bread pan. What kind of oil? Cheap as we can get it. Let's put some vegetable oil in there. It's got to be enough, okay? For the way that I'm going to do this. I need you to watch real close how we're going to do this part here. Get that oil kind of mixed around. You don't got to do too much. Now we're going to take a little bit more flour. We'll pat this out good. We'll make it about even. Not too thick, not too thin. about a ½ inch or so. A cup. Just any old. If you want to buy a biscuit cutter, buy you a biscuit cutter. Or if you want to save money, just get you a cup. Put this down in there, get a little bit of powder on it. Go to the end, turn, move to the side. Go to here. Now just push this one over a little bit, go to the end, turn. We're not wasting any batter. We're just not going to waste any. We're going to use it all. I've seen people just go in the middle and then get rid of the rest of it. And we're going to use it all because times are hard. So we got to get tough with the times that are hard. We'll get these to the side. To the side. Now watch this. Got to get this oil everywhere. I got to get this just a little bit off the ground here, just a little bit. Just a little bit up. I'm going to take one of these. I'm going to toss it in the oil. I'm going to put it up here. To the side. I'm going to toss it in the oil. Put it up to the top. I'm going to toss it in the oil. Put it to the top. Okay, we got us 3 there. Toss it in the oil. So this oil that I'm putting on here is going to make this crisp up. Going to give you a good little crispy outside shell. Let's get some more done here. Put some oil on it. Put it up here. Put some oil on it. Put it over here. Oil on it. You might say, man, them biscuits don't look that pretty. Trust me. When you taste them, you're going to forgive their looks. You ain't going to worry about how they look, because them things are going to taste good. The oil on it. Right there. The oil on it, put it right there. Got almost a full pan now, just a little short, but that's okay. One little small biscuit there. When my kids was little, I always made them one little small biscuit. They liked that better that way. Made them feel good that they got their own personal biscuit. Now look at these right here. So we're going to put these in the oven. The oven is on 450. It's still heating up just a little bit, but it's getting close. We're going to put these in the oven and we'll be right back. Okay, the biscuits are in the oven. Won't be much longer for those. It doesn't take long for biscuits. It's a no-brainer. Just bake your biscuits. It's so easy. The burger's getting brown. Oh wow, the house smells so good already. It takes you back to when you was young, being raised, and Mama would make biscuits, and you'd be in the bed and you smell those biscuits. You know when I knew it was time to get up? When I could smell breakfast. And I'll tell you right now, whenever I was sleepy and there was no food, it's hard to get up. But when you just smell that food, it's time to rise and shine, right? That's what a good breakfast will do for you. Okay, we're going to finish cooking up. We'll be right back. I'm going to check this bread. I want you to look at that. A little bit of brown getting on top. It's going to be so good. Look at that, would you? It's only been in there just a few minutes. It doesn't take long at all for biscuits to bake. I'm going to let the top brown just a little bit more. And what you can do, if it doesn't brown fast enough for you, you can always turn it on to the broil and let it brown just the top. If the bottom's getting done faster than the top, then you put it on broil and then the top will catch up with it. Okay. Let's put it together now. Take a good biscuit. Now remember, we got the baby biscuits for the kids, the bigger biscuits for the adults. I'm going to go for a mid-size one. I'm going to take this biscuit, I'm just going to open it up. Look inside of that. Do you see, look at that. That is a homemade biscuit. 3 ingredients. That part goes in my mouth. 3 ingredients, just use some lard, I use some buttermilk, and I use some flour, self-rising flour. That's all we used. Man, that was so good. And we got our hamburger gravy. Put that on there. Like that. Okay, look at this meal. And took no time to make this. Look at this. All this together. You got your hamburger gravy. Got the meat in there. Look at that. We got our weenies on the side, which are absolutely delicious. Our eggs fried with buttermilk, salt and pepper. And that is what you call a real. This is not fake. It's not something that somebody in the city decided they was going to try to make a country breakfast. This is a good, real country breakfast made by country people the country way. Right here. This is what I ate growing up in a holler in West Virginia. I ate this just about every day. We had something like this. If not, we had rice. We had something like this whenever we was just blessed to have it. And now to try the taste test. If it don't taste good, then we wasted our time. Okay. We're back. This has been exciting, right? Now it's the time to try out country hamburger, gravy, and biscuits. Tastes just as good, if not better, than steak gravy. And we saved a ton of money, okay? We'll get a little bit of burger in there. The gravy. I'm telling you, folks, that is good. The gravy is rich. Wow. The biscuit's amazing. And that burger, like I say, tastes just like steak. I mean, it's the same. It's about the same thing. Close enough. You're never going to know the difference. You might even like it better. I do. I like it better. It's not as tough. It's easier to chew up. That's a good breakfast. Now, the way Jessica and I make our eggs, we use buttermilk. A lot of people use cream. A lot of people use whipping cream. Just different things. We use buttermilk. And you can taste the difference. Fried in that butter, salt and pepper. But here's the trick. Instead of paying a lot of money for bacon or sausage, this was like $1 or something a pack. And the perfect, wow, that is good right there. There's that little bit of brownness, that singe, gives it the perfect, almost a grilled like taste. That is good. This is a great meal. We appreciate you all for tuning in. Ask you if you would hit that like button, hit the share button, follow us, would you? If you'll follow us on YouTube, it'll allow us to make more YouTube shows. We try to do at least one every week. If you're watching on New Beginning Network, we appreciate you. If you're new, welcome. We appreciate you. Stay tuned. There's going to be more and more. But for now, we want to say that we love y'all. And in Jesus' name, we'll see you next week.